Hey everyone, it's Brent Cooper, and I am here to teach you on Transaction Desk. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and this class is probably going to take about 45 minutes, and we're going to walk through the basics of how to create a transaction, how to fill out the forms, and then how to send them out for signature. So here we go. Let me share my screen real quick. All right. In order to get to Transaction Desk, you can go a couple of different ways. You can log into your agent dashboard, or you can access it through TAR, Tennessee Association of Realtors, under members. But I'm going to walk you through. So here is Transaction Desk. Now, your setup may look a little bit different. It's all based on how you set up your dashboard. So I want to walk you through right here. So this right here is what we call the agent dashboard. This here, the house, is actually going to house all of the transactions that you currently have open, closed, or in pending. The pen is actually going to be where you're going to send documents to be signed, or you're going to add a new signing to a transaction, or just create a new signing. And then this last form right here, these are your documents. And this is where you can go to search and pull up a single document. So again, you've got your dashboard, you've got your transactions, you've got signings through AuthentiSign and transaction. The rest of them we're not going to get to at this point. But these are just going to be your basics. So we're going to come back to your dashboard. Now, your dashboard has a bunch of different functions on it. Again, yours may look different than what this is, but I want to show you a couple of things. This little icon right here is what we call a lock, and this locks your dashboard. And so you can set up your dashboard to have whatever shortcuts you want on it. So for example, I always like create a new transaction, because that's what we do in Transaction Desk. Start a new signing. That's what we do in Transaction Desk. And so I want to show you all of these icons. If they're not on your dashboard, they're up here on your dashboard. And so basically, if you click the unlock button, you can drag these down and start and add the shortcuts to your dashboard. And then that way you don't have to worry about having to click on the icons every time that you log in to Transaction Desk. I like this. It's a simple step. And then once you've got it all done, and you can arrange it however you want. See how you can move these items around? Once you have your dashboard set up to the way that you want it, basically all you're going to do is click the lock button, and there you go. It's all there for you. And it doesn't move. So the lock button just stops you from being able to edit. This little icon right here is how do I. This is a tutorial for you. So if you're ever stuck on anything in Transaction Desk, that little tutorial box will walk you through whatever you want. There's probably 200 plus videos on there, and some of them are only 30 seconds long. So if you're having an issue creating a new transaction, or finding a form, or sending a form for signature, it's all right here. All you have to do is click on. This is your basic tutorial. And then this right here is a library full of guides. So anything that you need to know, it's right here. So utilize this tool because it's great for when you're in a bind, okay? It's easier to access this and get the answers that you want than picking up the phone and calling somebody. Okay, so let's walk through and talk a little thing. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go ahead and create a transaction. We're gonna start by clicking on the Create Transaction button, or if you're on your home screen, you can go to Add. And so we're gonna add a transaction, and we're gonna walk through. Now, we're gonna be on the buyer side. So you've got listing and you've got buying. Our class today is gonna be on the buy side. If you're doing a listing, it's gonna be the same thing. You're just gonna have different forms, but your setup is all going to be the same, okay? So let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to go in and we're going to name the transaction. So I usually name it with the street name and the last name of the buyers. And so we're going to go ahead and pick the template. So here you've got your seller buyer packet and your seller packet. Remember to always use 2022 forms. Now that we're in 2022, you never want to use the last year's forms. So we're going to go ahead and hit buyer packet 2022. We're going to hit select the source. Who is our MLS? Yes, you got it. It's real tracks. So we're going to go ahead and click real tracks. And then we're going to pop in our MLS number. And that MLS number you're going to get from the MLS, obviously, of the home that you're making an offer on. So we're going to go ahead and pop in that MLS number, and we are the selling agent. We're going to use Wizard because that's going to populate all of our forms and everything that we need in this transaction. So once we've got this filled out, we're going to go ahead and hit create. And it's going to take us to the first screen. And the first screen is going to be the details on the transaction. And what that is the address, the MLS number, the year built, the county, the tax ID, the legal description, and other items. You don't have to fill out the rest of this. All you need are the basics to get you into the transaction and to populate these items into your forms. Now, all of the information that you enter into these next few steps automatically pre-populate on your documents, except for maybe on the village-owned documents. On the TAR documents, they all populate, but on the village ones, you may have to enter in the information, okay? So once you go through and you verify the property address and the transaction type, we're gonna go ahead and hit next. These are transaction dates. Just skip past this. You really don't need it right now. All we're doing is the basics of creating a transaction for you so you can fill out the documents and get them to the people, to your clients to be signed. Once you've got all of this down and you're good in that's going to be your next step. That's like a transaction 201. And you can always go into that TV monitor under training videos to learn more about the transaction dates. So we're going to skip past this. We're going to go straight into contacts. So what the contacts does is it automatically, when you put in an MLS number, it populates both the listing agent and the selling agent, okay? Populates the brokerage and their email and contact information. Now, what you need to do is you need to create, add, or add yourself as a contact. So we're gonna go ahead and create a new contact, and we're gonna name this as a buyer, and we're gonna say that Michael Santos is going to be the buyer of this property. So we're going to go ahead and type in Michael's first name, his last name. If there's a middle initial, you can add that as well. But we're just going to say it's Michael Santos, and we're going to put in his email address. That's all you need for your contact. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And there you go. We've got Michael Santos at the bottom. Now, if we needed to add his wife, we can go ahead and create another one, and we can say, again, it's going to be the buyer, and we're going to say it's Michelle, and we're going to say Santos, and again, we're going to type in Michelle's email address. All right, hit save. So now we've got Michael and Michelle in here both as buyers. Now they're going to show up on your documents in that same order. So Michael's going to be on the first line and Michelle's going to be on the second line. Once we've got all of our contacts in here and we verify that it's all correct, we're going to go ahead and hit next. And this is where it populates all of the documents that you need in order to create and complete this transaction. Now, there could be other ones that are going to be needed in here. So let's say, for example, you're going to be doing a, let's say that this is a personal interest, and that's not populated in here. So what we're going to want to do is hit add, come up to search, type in personal. It's going to pull up the form that you need. You're going to check it, and we're going to add it to the transaction. Okay, so there it is. If there are any forms in here that you don't need, for example, this one we don't have, we're not showing it for sale by owner, so we can go ahead and delete this form out of our packet because we don't need it. Working with a real estate agent, there's no one unrepresented, so we're going to go ahead and delete this one out of the packet as well. So you can add to these forms or you can delete as needed based on the package that it builds for you. This package is developed by Village. So basically what they've done is said, these are the items that you need in order to complete this transaction. It's up to you to add and to subtract the ones that you don't need. Okay. Once we've walked through and we have all of the documents in here that we are that we need to complete this transaction, we're going to go ahead and hit next. The facts cover sheet is already pre-populated for you, so we can hit done. And here we are. We are at the beginning of the transaction, and this is what your dashboard looks like. So your dashboard has all of the contacts. If we need to change anything, all we do is click on the contact and we can go in and make changes. It's got all of the forms that have been pre-populated for us. These forms are blank at the moment, so there is no signatures or filling out. You're going to do that. You've got your cover sheet, and then you've got your authentisign. There are no signings yet, so there's nothing in this box yet, okay? We've created the transaction, and now we're ready to start filling out all of the forms for the buyer to submit an offer, okay? So why don't we start here with the purchase and sale agreement? All you're gonna do is click on the document that you want to edit, and then it's gonna open up for you, and we're gonna start filling this item out. Okay, so let's go right here. We're going to just add in a sign. All of the blue lines are something that you should be filling out. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here. We're going to go to the tax record. We're going to find the owner's names right here on tax record. And we're going to find out that it's Steve and Stephanie Santos. So we're going to go ahead and pop their information in there. And Stephanie. It's Victory Circle. We're going to go ahead and pop in the description, and that is all the way down at the bottom, which there is none. So we're going to go ahead and skip past that. And we're going to come back and we're good. So we've got the property address, the county, and the zip code. We know that there's a garage, and there's a 2-car garage. So we're going to go ahead and pop in 2. And then you're going to continue to fill out this form with all of the basics that your buyer is willing to offer or wants with the property. So you'll go ahead and fill out all of the blue lines, making sure that you've got everything completed per your buyer's request. And you're going to come all the way down and continue to fill out again all of the blue lines. I'm not going to walk you through filling everything out. You've done this on your orientation piece of it, but there is something that I do want to show you. I want to show you the special stipulations. So we know that there are special stipulations out there that, for example, a home sale contingency. Never ever as a new agent write your own special stipulation. It's definitely something that you're either A, going to want to use the pre-populated one, B, have your broker look at and approve for you. But please, as a new agent, never ever write your own special stipulation. It's important that these, to protect you and your buyer and the brokerage, that A, they either be pre-written by TAR or your broker looks at them. Repetitive, I know, but it's very important. Okay, here we go, special stipulations. So what we're gonna do is click on special stipulations. While we are here, I wanna walk through these items at the very top, because you've got a bunch of different topics up here. So the first one is gonna be file. So here we can create a new document. We can file, we can open a new form with this one. We can save all of the edits that we've done, or we can save it as a PDF that will go onto our desktop. We can make a copy of this document. We can also email all of these documents. We can draft it. Now, what I want to show you here is whenever you are doing a document for a client, never ever give out a blank document to anyone, because your name populates on that. So if you're going to do it, put a draft mark over it in order to protect yourself, and it can't be used as a legal document, okay? You can also take that watermark off if you want to. You can trash this document, you can print this document, you can email this document. And again, if you ever get into an issue to where you don't know what to do, this little box right here takes you to all of those videos that we talked about earlier. And you've got everything right here that you need in order to help you complete the transaction. So let's get back to where we were. And then the last one is just to exit out of this document. So if we wanted to go back to our dashboard, And then back into the transaction, we can go into another document if we need to. Continuing across, you've got your fonts. You can change your fonts, you can change your color, you can change your size. I would always suggest leave it in blue or black. I would always suggest to leave it in black, honestly, but you can do it in blue. Let's not choose colors. Let's do it in blue or black. Right here are your clauses. So remember when we talked about special stipulations? This is important, and I really want you to use this. So if we click in special stipulations and we come up to the clause button, we can do personal clauses, office clauses, which are populated by your broker and for your office specific, or we've got system clauses. And so on the system clauses, let's say that we have a home sale contingency. Here it is right here. We're going to go ahead and click home sale contingency, and you can go through. There's many special stipulations in here that are already written for you, and they're legally written. So they protect you, the buyer, the seller, and the brokerage. So we pick the one that we want. We're going to hit OK, and there it is. Look, it populates in. This agreement is contingent upon the sale and closing of the property located at, and you're going to put in your buyer's address, the house that's going to be, needs to be sold in order for this transaction, this offer to be executed. So we're going to say 123 Fake Street. We're going to put in the address that's in Nashville, and we're going to say it's 37217. And on or before the closing date of this agreement, if the buyer's property does not close on or before the closing date of this agreement, buyer may terminate this agreement with written notice to the seller with refund of earnest money, trust money to buyer. So that gives you who, what, when, where, and what happens if it doesn't go through. So everybody's protected. So again, you have to be in special steps. Your cursor has to be in special steps. You go up to clause, you go to system clause, and you choose the one that works for what you need. Now, if we go back into special steps and we go into clause and we go into office clauses, there are some clauses in here that were developed specifically for Village. So these are going to be other ones that you're going to want to use. At the end of the day, you never want to create your own unless you partner with your broker or a closing attorney. Okay, so we've got the first one, files, copies, printing, all of that good stuff. The next one's fonts. This is your clause button right here. This one right here is your document. So again, these are all of the documents that are in the transaction that were created. Okay, so if you wanted to go to another one, you could just simply click on it and it'll take you there. This one right here takes you to a page. So let's say I wanted to go back up to page 3. There you go. Want to go back down to page 11. There you go. Page 10, where we were on the special steps. You can zoom in to the page. You can zoom out from the page, whatever you want to do here. And then this one takes it directly to signing. So once we are completed with filling out this document, we then take it directly to signing, where we're going to populate all of the signings. Okay. So let's go ahead and exit out of this form. Let's say that we've gone ahead and filled everything out. We're ready to go. And what we want to do is complete a couple of other forms. I want to show you a few things. Okay, so we've done the purchase and sale agreement. Let's say that we've filled it out in full. We've got the trusted service provider. So we're going to come down, we're going to click on it. And again, you're going to go through and fill out all of these forms. So we've got Michael Santos, and we've got Michelle Santos. And we're going to go ahead and exit out once we have that filled out. And again, we're going to continue to go down this form, and we're going to fill out all of the ones that are associated with our document, with our transaction. So here we go. We're going to come down. This is their disclaimer. Again, we're going to type in Michael, type in their names. You don't need to put in the dates and the time at this moment because it's going to pre-populate once you send it over to transaction desk. So all we need to do is get their names and any other information in here. We're going to go ahead and exit out and save it. Again, continuing on to the next documents. And we're going to go ahead and do base commission because this one will require your signature, and I want to show you how to do that. So remember, the village forms don't really populate. It's the TAR forms. So you may have to go through and type out some of these items as you're going through. And so we're going to do that. In 37206. Okay, and then the client is going to be Steve, or well, sorry, Michael and Michelle Santos. And then we're going to go ahead and hit 250. You can pay it up front, you can pay it in the back. We're going to say in the back. And then we're going to come down and we're going to make sure that all of this information is filled out as well. That's you. This is your brokerage. This is your clients. And then your second client. And that's it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and save that, and we're going to exit out. Now, let's go ahead and start our signings. So I want to show you a couple of things here. First of all, remember, when you are doing something for a buyer, your property condition and your confirmation of agency are both online. So you're going to need to upload these into Transaction Desk for them to be signed. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to download this onto my desktop. Okay, there's one. And then we're going to come back and we're going to download the other one, property condition disclosure. We're going to file and save. And I'm going to show you how to upload those into Transaction Desk so you can have them signed. Okay. All right, back to our transaction here. All right, here we go. So we are going to click on the document that we want to start with the signing. I usually do the purchase and sale agreement because it's the main one that we're going to do. But we're going to go ahead and click on the pen. All right. So now it's taken that document and now it has sent it over to Transaction Desk. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this off because we're going to do multiple offers or multiple documents on here. It's not just the purchase sale agreement. So we're going to name it 353 Victory Street Santos offer. And now the only form that we've sent over to transaction or to AuthentiSign is your purchase and sale agreement. So what we're going to do is we're going to add documents to this. So we're going to click on add. You can add three different ways. You can add from your transaction, you can upload from your computer, or you can go to my files and documents. We're going to do it this way. We're going to add the documents that we need the buyers to sign. We've already got the purchase and sale agreement in there. So we're going to have them sign the base commission, all of those documents that we have filled out that we need them to sign. Trusted service provider, and there you go. We've got what we need. So we're going to go ahead and click on it. So we've got 4 documents here. Now we need the other 2 that we uploaded onto our computer. So we're going to go ahead and click. We're going to go to upload and import. We're going to go from my computer. And here are the 2 documents. So we're going to go ahead and highlight both of those. We're going to upload them. And bam, there they are right here on your transaction. Okay. So now what we need to do, we've got all of our documents in AuthentiSign. So now what we need to do is we need to add our signers to this. So we're going to go back up to signer and we're going to go ahead and add participants. And we're going to go from the transaction, because remember, we added everybody to the transaction when we created it. So they're already in here. So we know that I need to sign. We know that Michael needs to sign. And we know that Michelle needs to sign. So we're going to go ahead and click on all 3 of those. And we're going to go ahead and hit documents, hit signers. Oops, I'm sorry. Add again. From, we're going to do Brent, Michael, dot. And we're going to go ahead and hit select. I didn't see that it's behind the screen that has my face in it. So here we go. So we have all of our buyers in here, right? And they're all, they're going to be different colors based on the buyer that, or person who's signing. And so we're going to go ahead and look at our docs. We've got all of those. Now we're going to come down to tools. So tools is actually how you populate the signatures, check marks, like whatever you need on these boxes. And I'm going to walk through and show you what these are. So here's Brent, I'm the selling agent. So if I wanted to sign, I would simply drag it over and it would add a signing. You can add a text line for myself to fill out, initial pages if you wanted to, checkbox, initials if you just need a single initial somewhere, a checkbox if you want to check something, an initial by choice. So let's say that they're giving you a couple of different options. You can put the initials there and they'll choose the one that they want to select. And then the drop down. Drop down I really don't use, but it's there if you need it. Let's say that you wanted to add a couple of other things in there. If you wanted an auto date, an auto time, or a full name, you could do that as well. And then these are additional items that you may want to use. For example, a text box. Let's say that you wanted to edit something on a form or you wanted to highlight something on a form. I usually like to highlight the offer price or something special on the offer that's going to make it stand out. So basically what I do is click on that, I highlight it, and there you go. Okay. And then the text box is if you wanted to fill something out, and we'll get to that in a minute. I'll show you exactly where and how to use that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the signings. So we're going to come down to the purchase and sale agreement. We want to make sure that every signature line has a signature, a person signing, and a date and time populated on it. So here we go. So we have Steve we have Michael and Michelle. So we're going to click on Michael. We're going to add date and time, and we're going to drag it down to the line. We're also going to go ahead and hit set as default, and that should automatically populate. We're going to hit date and time again for Stephanie. We're going to drag it down. And then now what we need to do is we need to go back in. You're going to choose your signer, and we need to send initials up to these initial boxes. So again, choose your signer, initials, and drag them up to where they need to be. All right. Moving on, we're going to come down to the base commission. So we've got 3 signings that we need to go here. And so again, we're going to start with Brent. We're going to drop his information here. We're going to do date, and we're going to do time. We're going to do Michael. We're going to do date and time. Again, once you hit default, it automatically starts pulling up those address or those dates and time. And then here we go. So Michael, date and time. We're going to come back down, continue to disclaimer. We're going to drag Michael. We're going to do all right. Continuing on, we're going to come back up. Again, it's Michael. We can get rid of the time here because we don't need it. We can click on Michelle, drag her over. Time don't need, so we can delete. And then here is where you're going to use this auto sign. So we're going to click on my name again. We're going to come down to the text box, or it's where you're going to use the text box. We're going to click on the text box. We're going to come and click up here, and then that adds a text box, okay? So what we're going to do is go ahead and enter in the information on these lines. So it's Michael and Michelle. And then the selling agent is yourself. Okay. So we've got that filled in. That's how you're going to use the text box if you need to mark anything up. Again, at the bottom here, we want to put the selling company on the bottom line. So we're going to go ahead and drop in a text box, and we're going to write village. All right. Now we're going to come back up and we're going to populate. So remember we talked about a checkbox for myself. I'm going to go ahead and put it under designated agent. And then I'm going to go ahead and populate my signature in delete the time, add the date. Then we're going to come down and we're going to choose Michael again. We're going to go ahead and hit date, and then we're going to come down and choose Michelle. We're going to sign. We're going to delete that, drag that over, drag that over. Last one is the property condition disclosure. And then again, you're going to populate your signatures on these lines along with your date and time. Okay. And that's it. So now what we've done is we've filled out all of the forms in full for the buyers to sign. We've populated their signatures along with your signatures or my signature. And now we're going to send it out to them for signatures. But what I do is I generally go back up to the top, walk through the documents again to make sure that everything is filled out in its entirety and all of the signatures are in place. Okay. Once we've got that done, the next step is to send to them. And this is a simple process. All you do is click on next. If you wanted to customize the invites and type a certain emails to them saying, Michael, you know, here are the documents we just discussed. Please review, you know, sign when you get a moment. If you have any questions, give me a call. You can do that. Otherwise, it will just pre-populate a generic email that will go to your buyers for them to sign. Now, they have to go through the whole process in order for it to be completed. So they're going to click on all the signature lines, and then there's going to be a button pops up that says complete. If they don't hit that complete button, it will not complete the signing. And so I'm going to show you that as well. So again, we finished everything. We hit send, and now that email has now gone out to our buyers and to you. So here's what it looks like. So we've got the signing for this transaction right here, and we can see who has signed and who has not signed, and we can see who the signers are. So if we were to come here, we could see all of the details. We could resend the invitation. So let's say that Michelle didn't get it because her email address was wrong. You could hit resend and you could type in Michelle's new email address and resend it to her. You can also reset this entire signing. So if nobody has signed it, they call you and say, hey, look, we want to change the price on the purchase and sale agreement. Then you would hit reset, go back in, delete the purchase and sale agreement out of the signing, correct it, upload it again, add in your signatures, and resend the entire packet of documents back out for signatures. No, it sounds like a lot, but it's very easy once you get the hang of sending this out for signing details. Okay, so let's hold on there. Let's go into Gmail. And I'm going to show you exactly what the signings look like. And then I want to show you what it looks like when you come in. So here's the signing. We're going to go ahead and click on it. Look at my big blurry mug on there. So we're going to hit signing, start signing. And then this is exactly what your buyers are seeing or your sellers are seeing as well. So we're going to go ahead and hit accept. And we're going to start. And then it's going to take us to all of the lines that we need to sign. So we're signing for Michelle. So this is, let's correct that. This is what your buyer is seeing. So we're going to go ahead and choose a signature. We're going to set it. And now Michelle is going to start signing. So she's just going to click on all of the boxes that are needed. Okay. And then once she's done, she needs to hit the complete signing. So if Michelle calls me and says, I'm done, but I don't see it on my end, and seeing it on your end is going to show right here. So now that Michelle has signed, I can see that 1 out of 3 people have signed, and I can come down and see that Michelle with the check mark next to her name has signed. If they don't hit the complete button, then it does not show up. So you need to ask them to go back in, redo it, hit the complete button, and then it should refresh, okay? And so that is the signature side of the transaction. Now, let's go back in and let's continue signing for everyone else. I sent all of their information to my email, so it's all right here. We're going to start signing, and again, this is for Michael. So we're going to hit agree. We're going to hit start, and we're going to come down and we're going to sign for Michael. He's going to choose a signature. We're going to set it, and Michael is going to just go down this list and sign all of his documents. Once he's done, he has to hit complete signing or it's not going to complete it. So there you go. So again, we go back over to transaction desk. We hit refresh. And now we can see that 2 out of 3 people have signed. And when we click on here, we can see that Michael has a check mark, he signed. Michelle has a check mark, she signed. So they're good to go. Okay. And then the last person who needs to sign is yourself. So we're going to change over to the account where my signatures go. And we're going to go ahead and sign that. Now, once everybody signs, you can see that you've gotten an email saying that the inaction has occurred. Steve signed, or Michelle signed, and Michael signed, so you can see that they've signed. So here's my request. I'm going to go ahead and hit start signing. We're going to accept it. We're going to hit start. And then I'm going to sign all of my documents, check all of my boxes. Again, hit complete signing. Now, all documents are done. We'll go back in. Here we are, 2 out of 3. We hit refresh. And there you go. We now have everybody signed. It's fully completed as it states right here. And now we can view the PDF. All right. So here we can see that everybody has signed our documents and we are good to go to submit the offer to and supporting documents to the listing agent. Okay. I want to show you one more piece, and that is coming back to here. If I wanted to click on this, I'm going to walk you through this dashboard. Okay. So if you click on the signing, it's actually going to take you into the signing. So there's a couple of things that you can see. You can view the full signed PDF, which is all of your documents that were signed in this signing under one PDF. You can also view the certificates and you can copy it to the cloud. You can also see who signed in this transaction. But the most important piece too is you can click on individual forms. So let's say that you didn't want to send all of them. You could do each individual form, the original without signatures, or the signed copies and the certificate. Okay. So you can send all of those forms individually, and it just makes it easier. You can also duplicate this, and you can delete this signing from this main dashboard. And again, to get to that main dashboard is going to be right here, but just by clicking on it, and you can see all of your documents. So we can see everybody that signed. We can see all of the forms that are in this transaction. We can print them individually. We can print them in one big document, okay? So that is Transaction Desk and AuthentiSign in a very quick 45-minute tutorial. Again, if you are stuck on anything and you're back at your dashboard, this screen right here, How Do I, will walk you through everything that you need to know about Transaction Desk and help you in any issues that you're having, or if you're just stuck and you have a question. So come back to this. Again, my name is Brent Cooper. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help. And I hope wish you all the best in signing your documents. Have a great one. Thank you, guys.